Hello everyone. Um, Welcome to Ortelius Microservice Visionaries 2021. I hope everyone is doing great. My name is Utkarsh and I'll be presenter for this presentation. And today I'm going to walk you through how you can set up yourself and start contributing to Ortelius open source project. So let's get started. Before going further, let me give you a brief idea about what Ortelius open source project is. So Ortelius open source project is basically a microservice management platform. As we all know, in microservice architecture, we have a lot of decoupled pieces, and there comes the problem. And Ortelius is trying to solve that problem by cataloging a lot of information for those decoupled pieces, like the versioning details, the tracking microservices, the blast radius, and much more other information. So the user can proactively monitor those microservice components and the changes that are happening over time. Ortelius is an incubating project under the governance of CD Foundation, which is a foundation under Linux Foundation. The mission is to simplify this adoption of microservices to creating this world-class microservice management platform, which is driven by a supportive and diverse uh, open source community. As I told you, we'll be discussing a lot about how you can contribute to Ortelius code base. So if you are a person who wants to start their open source journey, or if you are a person who is stuck somewhere in his or her journey, so this is the right presentation for you, because the lessons that you'll be learning um, through this presentation, you can apply them anywhere to many other open source projects. Let me introduce you to myself. I like to say myself as a cloud enthusiast because I like to create solutions using different cloud platforms. And I'm an open source contributor and currently working full-time as a consultant in Capgemini India. You can also follow me on GitHub and Medium using these handles. These are the agendas for today. As you can see, we'll be starting our discussion with very basic level, that is joining the community, and eventually we'll go how you can uh, contribute to Ortelius as a developer. So let's see these topics one by one in the coming slides. Okay, so you are a person who wants to start their open source journey. So what is the first step that you need to take? So first of all, you need to join that community. So in Ortelius, we have made it very minimalistic and very simpler. So this is the URL that you need to navigate to, and this URL, this web page has all the information that you need in order to become a contributor for Ortelius community. I won't be discussing a lot of things here, but I would focus on 2 points, that are joining the Discord channel and joining the Ortelius Google groups. So why it is very important to join the Discord channel? Because a lot of discussion happens there, and we have people all over the world who discuss their problem statements and their strategies. You can also participate in the live discussion and share your ideas. And the other thing is Ortelius Google groups. So once you join that Ortelius Google group, you will get notification for all the calendar invites for the Ortelius meetings. And Apart from that, we share all our documents with the Ortelius Google group. So if you are a part of that, you will have that access to the artifacts that we share there. And there is a bonus sign up URL as well on the contributor page, wherein you can fill a simpler form and someone from Ortelius team will reach out. Once you have joined the community, reach out to the community for any questions, any queries that you have. Let me introduce you to Steve Taylor, who is a CTO Deploy Hub and Ortelius architect. So you can take advantage of Steve's open door policy and schedule time on his calendar if you are working on any issues, if you are stuck at some issues, or if you need to discuss something. You can navigate to this URL for accessing his calendars, and alternatively you can always post your questions on Discord and community will always try to help you. Okay, so you have joined the community. What next? So now you have to create your first pull request. What is the first pull request? So as the name suggests, this is the first pull request that is generated for an organization. So all our project code base can be found on this official GitHub repository for Ortelius, which is github.com/Ortelius/Ortelius. So you have to fork this repository and edit a readme file there, and you have to add your name in the contributors list. Once you have done the changes, you save that and create a pull request for your change, and that's it. You have created your first pull request. Congratulations. But if you are a contributor who has started their contribution for the very first time, then you also need to sign a Linux Foundation CLA. So if you are getting some mails regarding signing a Linux Foundation CLA, then make sure you go ahead and sign that out, because until unless you sign this CLA, your pull request will not be accepted. Okay, so you have joined the organization and you have also created your first pull request. Congratulations. But what next? So now you have to pick up your first issue, and this will be the issue that you'll be working on, and this is how you contribute to the organization. But since you have newly joined to the organization, you would not have much idea about the product. So how would you choose the issue? So for that, there are some labels on the issues. So you have to choose the issues that are labeled as good first issue or documentation issue. The reason that I'm telling you to do so, because the good first issues are issues that are simple and easy to implement, and documentation are issues that would require you to create a documentation or update an existing document. So with this process, you will understand the application, and eventually you can pick up any issue that you want. Also, documentations are no easy way to get started to know your application. And if you are not sure like which issues to pick up, don't worry, you just put them down in Discord channel and people will help you pick up the issues as well. And you don't need to be afraid of choosing any issues to work on, because obviously there will be people, there will be mentors who will be guiding you throughout the process and helping you out whenever you are stuck at some place. So go ahead and pick up your first issue. So if you have a picked up issue that is a documentation issue, then you would need to install a couple of things in your local machine to get started to work on documentation issue. So there is something called Hugo server which renders your markdown file. So you need to install that into your local machine so that you can render your documents, um, like how would they look, um, and you can preview your source code. And if you're working on Visual Studio Code, then they have a very useful extension that is Markdown Preview Enhanced by VVWang, which you can install, and that will give you a split window for your source code of the documentation. So in that way you can see the preview of your documentation on the same screen while you edit up your source code. If you have a task wherein you want to update the existing document, so navigate to the documentation, start your Hugo server, and make changes in the documentation. And whatever changes that you'll make will be rendered automatically on the right hand side. I have this screenshot of how it looks like. So as you can see on the right hand side, you have the preview, which is a rendered section of the source code that you have written on the left hand side. So in this case, on the same screen, you can edit up your source code and see how would they look like in the previous screen. Okay, so what if um, you don't want to do some coding, or if you don't want to do some documentation changes? Don't worry. Are you a content creator or want to be one? We'll give you a platform. We have a Ortelius channel on YouTube, and you can create videos for that. We are running Ortelius office hours. You can be a part of that. You can interview someone or share your story, ideas through Ortelius office hours. If you are good at marketing, join our outreach community. Create campaign for marketing, and will help you in all the possible ways um, to achieve a task. You can also be a mentor. Um, you can use your expertise to mentor people achieve their tasks. And there are like many more opportunities that you might get. All you need to do is to join the meetings and volunteer yourself for any tasks that you hear. Bring your ideas. Uh, so let's say if you have some idea that if integrated with Artelius would solve a problem. So we would appreciate if we can bring that idea to the community. Propose that idea and discuss it with the community. And we are looking forward to new ideas and features that we can introduce in Artelius to help solve your problem. Uh, you can also share your feedback to us, and we look forward to this feedback to make sure we are solving the right problem. Being a coder for Artelius. So this slide talks about what technologies that we use, and obviously what opportunity that you have in terms of learning different technologies. So we, we have quite a range of technologies that we use. The programming languages that we use primarily are Python, Node.js, Golang. The cloud platform that we use is GCP and Azure. For deployment, we use Docker, Kubernetes, and Helm. And obviously, we know why we are opting these technologies, because Python is very easy to learn, and Python has become a lot popular uh, since it is very easy to learn. It has a lot of libraries that we can leverage. The code readability and creating your proof of concepts using Python is very easy. And Python has also a strong integration with our other technologies, and we can leverage that part. For Node.js, um, it's been in industry for quite a long time, and we have tons of libraries and modules that we can leverage. And Node.js is obviously we have multiple options for input-output operations, so that comes as an advantage of using Node.js. Why we use Golang? Uh, Golang is coming as a very popular language these days due to the advantages Go has. So Go is built for uh, work which has a lot of complexity. Go primarily focuses on writing a performance solution, since all the it has a lot of inbuilt features of concurrency and asynchronous uh, communication. That is why we are also using Golang. Okay, so what do you have to do uh, for contributing as a developer in Ortelius? So obviously you have to set up your local machine. We have our official repository, that is github.com Ortelius/Ortelius, and it has all our codes. And so we open all the issues uh, at this repository, because we don't want to open the issues at multiple places. So this is the one place where you can find all the issues related to Ortelius project. And you can check out your project or microservices that you have to work, and you can set up your local test DB to run your application. How you can do that? So we have already created a test database image that you can pull using the Docker, and there are a few of the commands that you can find on the official repository as well. So first of all, you would need to pull out the test database image, then you need to create a volume for that, and after that you can run that image file using that volume on any port that you need. Okay, so DevOps in Ortelius. So here are a few things that I would like to mention as part of what GitHub action that we follow, and other security and cloud build details. So, so as we all know, GitHub action is basically the workflow that is defined in GitHub. So we have a couple of steps there. So what we do, we first of all scan the container. We do the merge check, like if the pull request has conflict on merging with the existing code base or not, we do the code base scanning and we then release the chart. So make sure you are also, whenever you're doing a pull request, make sure these workflows are getting checked correctly. And apart from that, for every repository, for every microservice, we have a cloud build. So cloud build basically is a deployment manifest for Google Cloud Platform, and it has all the necessary information that would be required in order to deploy that application to the GC. So make sure you are, if you want to make any changes in the deployment, then you make sure you are making those changes in cloud build.yaml that is present in the repository. For security scanning, we use quite a few libraries. We have Trevis, Cyclone, DB, and Safety. So we use these libraries to scan our code for finding the vulnerabilities in the dependencies that we use, and also in our Ortelius dashboard we leverage these features and create a CVE file that we show up there in Ortelius dashboard. So if you have any questions, you can ask me related to contributing to Ortelius open source community. Thank you. For more information, uh, the official website for Ortelius is ortelius.io. The official GitHub repository is github.com Ortelius/Ortelius. You can follow Ortelius on LinkedIn. The URL is given here, and you can the Twitter handle for Ortelius is @OrteliusOS, and you can also follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn using these handles. So that's all for this presentation. I hope it gave you insight of how you can start your open source contribution with Ortelius.